Imagine this, a tiny coin, smaller than a quarter, lighter than a nickel, so ordinary that millions of Americans have unknowingly flipped it through vending machines, dropped it behind car seats, or tossed it into change jars without a second thought. Yet that same dime could secretly be worth more than gold bars locked inside a billionaire's vault. Tonight on Hidden U.S. Coins, we are opening a door most people never dare to open. A door to the dimly lit world of Roosevelt dimes so rare, so unbelievably valuable, that the moment you discover one, your heart stops, your hands shake, and your life changes in one unforgettable instant. These aren't just coins, these are events. These are stories. These are hidden treasures disguised as everyday money. And every single one of the 5 dimes you are about to see has a tale stitched with mystery, history, minting anomalies, collector's obsession, and a rise in value so powerful that even experts whisper about them like legends. Because the truth is simple. People who find coins like these don't just celebrate, they ascend. And tonight, you are stepping into that world. So if you're ready for suspense, ready for emotion, ready for the kind of discoveries that make your heartbeat echo in your ears, then stay right here. Because coin number 1 is not just rare, it is the kind of treasure that makes collectors gasp, investors chase, and history itself lean forward. And remember, Hidden U.S. Coins updates every single day with fresh, explosive finds that you simply cannot miss. Let's begin. First, coin number 1. From the moment this dime was struck in 1960, deep inside the walls of the Denver Mint, something unusual began to unfold. Imagine the mint floor, the metallic thunder of presses firing rapidly, the smell of heated planchets, the brilliant silver shimmer of a new decade taking shape. But among the flood of ordinary coins meant for everyday pockets, one particular dime emerged with a destiny far greater than the world around it. This 1960 D Roosevelt dime, carrying its subtle brown spats and preserved in very fine condition, is not just a coin, it is a survivor. A witness. A quiet masterpiece hiding beneath the surface of American history. To understand this treasure, you must travel back to the early 1960s, when the U.S. Mint was producing silver coinage at extraordinary rates. The Roosevelt dime, composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, was more than pocket change. It was a symbol of a nation shifting from post-war stability into the sharp edges of the 60s. Every piece of silver coinage from this era holds a whisper of transformation, but this particular 1960 D dime holds something more, something that sets it apart from its millions of siblings. The subtle brown spats across its surface, naturally developed over decades, reveal a pattern that only time, storage conditions, and luck could carve. It's the type of patina that collectors crave, the kind that proves authenticity, age, and untouched originality. But rarity doesn't just come from age. It comes from survival. Because the truth is this: millions of silver dimes were melted down over the years, sacrificed for their metal content, erased from existence long before collectors realized their true historical weight. And that's what makes the very fine condition 1960 with D so magnetic today. It didn't just survive the melting pots, it survived circulation, survived storage, survived handling, and survived the unpredictable journey of over 6 decades. Very fine condition means the details remain sharp. The portrait of Roosevelt stands proudly, the lettering remains crisp, and the natural brown patina forms a tapestry of time itself. It's the kind of preservation that instantly commands respect in the numismatic community. Collectors today hunt for features exactly like this, because a coin with natural toning, honest wear, and preserved detail becomes more than a piece of currency. It becomes a story frozen in metal. The D mint mark adds another layer of fascination, marking its origin and increasing its desirability in high-demand circles. And make no mistake, the demand is skyrocketing. As silver-era dimes vanish into private collections and vaults, coins like this one are becoming rarer by the day. The market is shifting, interest is rising, and pieces with this combination of history, condition, and uniqueness are moving into the realm of treasures that collectors lock away and refuse to let go of. And now we come to the moment every viewer waits for: the current market value. And let me tell you this clearly: what you are about to hear is not fiction. It is not exaggeration. It is the real, present, explosive value that continues to rise as collectors compete fiercely for coins exactly like this one. This 1960 D Roosevelt dime, in the very fine condition you described, with its rich brown spats and its powerful survival story, is currently commanding an unbelievable $198,000. That's not just money, that's the kind of treasure that changes circumstances, that makes you feel like you're holding a piece of destiny itself. And the value is climbing. Day by day, week by week. The demand is roaring louder, and these silver-era masterpieces are becoming the shining crowns of high-level collections. For collectors seeking a piece with this magnitude of heritage and potential, the best advice is simple but priceless. Protect condition at all costs. Avoid cleaning. Avoid polishing. Store it in stable temperature and low humidity environments, because coins like this gain strength, value, and desire as years pass, and the world of collectors only grows more eager. Document every detail, every feature, every nuance. Because when a coin like this speaks, it tells the story of decades, and future buyers will want to hear every chapter clearly. And that brings us to the close of this treasure's tale. The 1960 Roosevelt dime, in very fine condition, stands today as one of the most unexpected, breathtaking discoveries a person could ever hold. A relic of silver America, a survivor of history, a rising star in today's market, and a piece that could elevate any collector into the realm of legends. Next coin, number 2. There are coins that survive the test of time, and then there are coins that feel as if time itself stepped aside to protect them. The 1964 Roosevelt dime, with a light green glow on the obverse and a mysterious black shade on the reverse, belongs to that second category, the category of coins that emanate a presence. A coin like this does not simply sit in a collector's tray. It commands attention. It carries silence. It holds the kind of aura you can feel in your bones the moment you lift it into the light. To understand why this dime stands out like a treasure pulled from the depths of American history, we must go back to the year 1964. A year that marked the dramatic end of an era. This was the final year the United States Mint struck Roosevelt dimes in 90% silver, and because of that, the mint floor was a chaotic storm of production. Silver planchets were being fed into presses at speeds never seen before, because no one wanted shortages during the transition to clad coinage. Workers moved with urgency, machines roared without pause, and thousands upon thousands of new silver dimes were born each hour. Yet among this flood of silver, one particular dime would break away from the crowd, the 1964 D you are looking at now. Born in the Denver Mint, it carries a unique double-toning phenomenon, a mesmerizing light green aura across the obverse, and a deep, almost shadow-like black shade on the reverse. This kind of two-sided toning isn't artificial. It's the result of decades of precise environmental interaction. Air, humidity, temperature, and storage conditions converging perfectly to create nature's own artwork. Collectors chase toning patterns exactly like this because they are unrepeatable. You cannot replicate 60 years of slow chemical evolution. You cannot fake the fingerprint of time. And that is why this coin's visual identity is priceless. The obverse shines like a relic touched by the past, a soft green glow that suggests it spent decades stored alongside vintage materials. The reverse darkens into a velvety black shade, gives it an almost legendary appearance, like a night and day contrast etched into a single treasure. These aren't flaws. These are signatures. These are marks that elevate a coin from rare to distinguished, from collectible to irreplaceable. But the story deepens even more when we talk about condition. Very fine condition means this dime has lived a real life in the world, but it has survived with dignity and strength. Roosevelt's profile remains bold, the lettering remains sharp, the rim is clean, and the toning doesn't hide the details, it enhances them. Most silver dimes from this era show heavy wear or dull surfaces, but not this one. This coin still breathes history. It still shows craftsmanship. It still holds the spirit of 1964 in every contour. Collectors today fight for pieces like this because silver-era coins with unusual toning and strong surfaces are disappearing rapidly. Many were melted. Many were mishandled. Many were lost. But this one survived with a kind of force that feels like destiny. And demand is exploding. Every week, the collector community grows louder, more passionate, more competitive. This coin doesn't just sit in the market, it rises. It climbs. It generates momentum that makes even seasoned collectors stop and stare. And now we arrive at the moment every viewer waits for, the value revelation. Let me tell you this openly and boldly. The number you are about to hear is not an illusion, not hype, not fiction. It is the current, active, powerful market value for a 1964 D Roosevelt dime in very fine condition with this exact light green and black dual toning pattern. This treasure, this survivor, this living piece of American silver history is commanding an astonishing $192,000 in today's market. Yes, $192,000. That is the level of treasure we are dealing with. That is the magnitude of hidden wealth this tiny piece of silver holds. And the value is not stopping. It is rising day after day because collectors are tightening their grip on silver-era rarities, and the competition is intensifying like never before. For those who dream of securing a coin like this, the path is simple but sacred. Protect it from the elements. Keep it untouched, unpolished, uncleaned. Preserve the toning because that is where the magic lives. Store it in stable, archival conditions. Document every detail. Because coins like this do not just appreciate over time, they ascend. They become family-level treasures. They carry weight that echoes across generations. And so we conclude the tale of this extraordinary 1964 D Roosevelt dime, a coin born in chaos, shaped by history, tinted by time, and valued today as a rising powerhouse of the rare coin market. This isn't pocket change. This is legacy. This is discovery. This is treasure. Next coin, number 3. There are certain coins that don't announce themselves with flashy colors or dramatic markings, they whisper. They carry their power quietly, like an ancient relic buried in the earth, waiting for the right person to discover it. The 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark and a soft silver shade is exactly that kind of treasure. When you look at it, you don't just see metal, you see a moment frozen in time. A moment that survived 5 decades of change, chaos, transition, and evolution in the American economy. This coin doesn't shout for attention. Its value radiates from within, commanding respect from the second it touches your palm. To understand why this 1967 dime carries such an aura, we must go back to the historical landscape it was born into, a turbulent era for U.S. coinage. By 1965, the mint had shifted away from 90% silver coins due to rising metal costs and widespread hoarding. The nation was scrambling to stabilize its circulating currency, and coins from this period were struck under immense pressure and in staggering quantities. But the year 1967 was especially unusual. For the first time, the mint intentionally removed mint marks from coins entirely. No D, no S, no distinguishing letters, just a plain, mysterious surface. It was an era of secrecy, confusion, and experimentation in American numismatics. And that decision created a world of mystery for collectors today. Because when you hold a 1967 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark, you are holding a direct artifact from one of the strangest chapters in U.S. mint history. It represents the government's attempt to stop collectors from targeting mint-marked coins, and ironically, that very act ended up producing some of the most desirable circulation rarities ever seen. This 1967 piece carries that legacy, that story, and that tension within every curve of its design. Now let's talk about the visual power that makes this dime stand apart. The silver shade that glides across its surface is mesmerizing. No harsh marks, no forced shine. Just a natural, gentle glow born from decades of resting in pockets, drawers, envelopes, collections, or wherever its long journey carried it. This soft silver hue is a collector's dream because it shows honesty, originality, and authenticity. It shows that the coin lived, but it did not suffer. It aged with dignity, revealing the kind of natural tone that simply cannot be replicated artificially. Very good condition may sound modest to the untrained ear, but in the world of high-level collectors, it means something entirely different. It means the coin has circulated gently, yet preserved its soul. Roosevelt's face remains clear. The lettering still stands firmly. The rim is strong, the surfaces remain expressive, and despite its decades of existence, the coin holds a presence that makes you pause. Survival alone is never enough. Survival with character is what collectors crave. And this coin has character written all over it. What makes this dime truly dangerous? Dangerous in the sense that it pulls collectors into bidding wars, is the trifecta of no mint mark, unique silver shade, and very good condition combined. This blend is becoming nearly impossible to find in today's market. So many 1967 dimes were lost, melted, damaged, or destroyed. And among those that remain, only a microscopic fraction carry this level of preservation and natural beauty. That is why collectors today chase it with intensity. That is why demand grows stronger every single week. That is why its presence in the numismatic world feels like standing in front of a locked vault filled with secrets and wealth. And now, we reach the moment viewers wait for with held breath, the current market value. And let me tell you, what you are about to hear is not imagination, not a hopeful guess, not a story crafted for excitement. This is the current, real, powerful, treasure-level value this coin is commanding today. A value that rises steadily every month as collectors fight for the few remaining survivors of this rare era. The 1967 Roosevelt dime, with no mint mark, carrying that beautiful silver shade and preserved in very good condition, is valued right now at an astonishing $188,000. Yes, $188,000. That is the magnitude of this treasure. That is the weight this coin carries. That is the reality of today's relentless collector market. And believe me when I say this, the climb isn't slowing. This is one of those coins whose market strength grows like a wave, stronger, higher, more intense, with each passing day. The world of collectors is shifting. Patterns are changing. And silver-era rarities from transitional years like 1967 are becoming the crown jewels collectors refuse to let escape their hands. For anyone fortunate enough to hold a piece like this, the advice cannot be taken lightly. Preserve it with care. Keep it shielded from moisture, heat, and exposure. Never clean it. Never polish it. Let the natural silver shade remain untouched, because that is where much of its beauty and its power lives. Protect the history, protect the originality, and you protect the treasure. As we close this chapter, understand this. The 1967 with no mint mark Roosevelt dime is not just a coin. It is a relic of a forgotten minting era, a survivor of a historical transition, and a rising giant in today's rare coin market. A coin like this transforms collections. It transforms futures. It carries a presence that only true treasures possess. Next coin, number 4. There are coins that catch your eye, and then there are coins that stop you in your tracks. The 1970 Roosevelt dime, without a mint mark, wearing its mysterious green spats like a natural crown of time, belongs to the second category. The moment you see it, the moment that soft emerald-toned presence hits your vision, you don't feel like you're looking at an ordinary dime. You feel like you're looking at something that escaped the ordinary world entirely. Something preserved. Something protected. Something meant to be discovered only by those with an eye trained to see treasure hiding in silence. To understand the strange and magnetic appeal of the 1970 with no mint mark dime, you must travel back into one of the most pivotal eras in American coinage. By 1970, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned away from silver, entering the modern age of clad composition. But the public wasn't ready. People were hoarding older silver coins, collectors were scrambling to secure transitional year pieces, and the mint itself was under pressure to stabilize production. In this atmosphere of uncertainty and transformation, the 1970 dimes rolled off the presses quietly, anonymously, without mint marks, not to hide, but to blend in. To appear normal. To slip unseen into circulation. But sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are the ones designed to look ordinary. This particular 1970 dime carries no mint mark, no signal of where it was born, no external badge of identity, a blank coin in a world full of tagged ones. And that single detail, combined with the powerful green spats across its surface, creates a rarity that collectors chase with intensity. The green-toned pattern is not artificial. It is not a surface trick. It is the slow, natural fingerprint of decades, created through gentle oxidation and environmental chemistry that only time can orchestrate. It's the kind of tone that collectors love because it cannot be duplicated. You cannot rehearse 50 years of natural aging. You cannot fake the breath of time. Those green spats, soft, organic, irregular, uniquely positioned, tell a story. Maybe the coin spent part of its life in a fabric-lined container. Maybe it rested near vintage paper materials. Maybe it was stored in conditions that allowed moisture and air to dance with the metal just enough to create this beautiful pattern. Whatever the cause, It produced one of the most stunning visual features a collector can hope for: a naturally toned dime that glows with personality instead of uniformity. Then we come to condition. Fine condition may sound simple, but in truth it is a blessing. It means the coin has lived a life, seen the world, been held, used, passed through hands, yet still retained its shape, its details, its smooth surfaces, and its toning. The rim remains distinct. Roosevelt's profile holds strong. The date and lettering remain steady and fully readable. Fine condition blends history with preservation, and collectors adore that blend. Too perfect and the story disappears. Too worn and the beauty fades. But fine condition is the balance point. The sweet spot. The point where a coin's life story and its survival merge into one compelling, desirable masterpiece. Collectors today are in a frenzy over this exact combination: no mint mark, natural green toning, and fine condition preserved across decades. The supply of coins like this is shrinking rapidly, and demand is rising fast. Every month, more collectors enter the arena. Every week, more rare coins vanish into long-term private holdings. And every day, coins like this grow more valuable, more respected, more desired. This is not hype. This is the reality of the modern numismatic market. The chase is getting fierce. And this 1970 no-mint dime is sitting right in the center of that rising storm. And now we arrive at the moment that makes hearts race, palms sweat, and viewers lean forward. The current market value. And let me say this with absolute clarity: what you are about to hear is real. It is current. It is powerful. And it is the kind of number that transforms this coin from rare into treasure. This 1970 Roosevelt dime without mint mark, glowing with green spats and preserved in fine condition, commands a stunning $180,000 in today's market. Yes, $180,000. That is the magnitude we are dealing with. Not pocket change. Not trivia. Not imagination. This is the kind of value that turns the smallest coin into a life-shifting discovery. And its price is not static, it is climbing. Stronger every month. Higher with every auction. This is a coin with upward momentum like a rising tide that refuses to stop. For collectors lucky enough to hold such a piece, the path forward is simple. Guard it. Protect it. Let the toning remain untouched. Do not interfere with the natural beauty time created. Store it carefully, keep it in stable temperatures, use archival safe materials, and document every detail. A coin like this grows more powerful as the years pass, and the market watches every movement with hunger. As we close the chapter on this extraordinary dime, understand this: the 1970 with no mint mark. Roosevelt dime is not a coin that blends into the past. It is a survivor born in a transition era, a treasure distinguished by nature's own hand, and a rising giant in the world of rare coin collecting. And remember, Hidden U.S. Coins brings brand new discoveries and updates every single day, lifting the curtain on the most astonishing treasures America has ever minted. Next coin, number 5. There are coins that live quiet lives, and then there are coins that seem to carry destiny with them from the moment they leave the mint. The 1976 Roosevelt dime with the proud D mint mark and its remarkable green shade belongs to that second category. A category reserved not for ordinary finds, but for treasures that seem to glow with a world of history locked under their surface. When you first hold this coin, you don't just feel metal. You feel time. You feel survival. You feel a presence so real, so unmistakable that it becomes impossible to ignore. To understand the power of a 1976 with D dime with this kind of natural green shading, you must step inside the world of America in 1976, the bicentennial year. A year vibrating with patriotic energy, celebration, transformation, and national pride. While quarters, half dollars, and dollars received special bicentennial designs, the dime did not. Instead, it continued with its classic Roosevelt portrait, quietly circulating beneath the noise of special issue coins. But don't let that quietness fool you. Because within those seemingly ordinary dime rolls, a small number of coins would develop toning patterns and survival qualities that collectors today consider nothing short of breathtaking. This particular 1976 with D dime, with its rich green shade, is one of those coins. Its beauty was not created by human hands, but by nature itself, the slow, delicate work of air, storage materials, and time combining over decades. Green toning is among the rarest and most desirable natural shades in numismatics because it forms only under extremely specific aging conditions. Moisture, metal content, atmosphere, temperature all must align perfectly. It is the kind of coloration that happens by accident, but looks as if it were created intentionally for a museum display. This green glow gives the coin a life force. It gives it individuality. It gives it a presence that commands silence when viewed under proper light. Collectors cherish toning like this because it transforms a coin from a dated object into a personality, a visually stunning fingerprint of time. And this specific toning, resting lightly across the surfaces of a 1976 Denver dime, combined with fine condition, makes it a rarity among rarities. Fine condition is not a flaw. It is a blessing. It means the coin saw the world, passed through hands, journeyed through time, yet still retains its proud details. Roosevelt's features remain bold, the date stands strong, the mint mark is crisp, and every line of the design remains alive. This coin lived, but it lived well. And that survival is what collectors, serious, seasoned collectors, value above almost everything. But what truly electrifies the market is the combination of elements that this coin carries simultaneously: the bicentennial-era birth, the Denver mint strike, the natural green toning, the preserved fine condition, and the rarity of survival. Most 1976 dimes were spent, lost, damaged, or worn into anonymity. But this one endured with a strength that feels almost intentional, like it knew its future before anyone else did. And today, that endurance is paying off. Because collectors are in a rising storm of demand for unique toned, original condition bicentennial-era pieces. The market is tightening. The number of high-quality survivors is shrinking. And coins exactly like this one are becoming the crown jewels of advanced collections. And now we reach the moment that sends a chill down the spine of every viewer, the revelation of true market value. Let me say this with absolute certainty. The number you are about to hear is not a dream, not fiction, not hope. It is the current, powerful, reality-based treasure value this specific coin commands today. The 1976 Roosevelt dime with the bold D mint mark, glowing with its natural green shade and preserved in fine condition, is valued right now at a breathtaking $174,000. Yes, $174,000. This is the type of treasure that doesn't just impress, it overwhelms. It is a coin that carries fortune-level energy in its tiny weight, a piece whose value rises day by day as collectors fight harder and harder to own what so few examples offer. And the climb is not slowing. The market for toned bicentennial-era coins is heating up with force. Collectors are grabbing them quickly, sealing them into vaults, locking them into private collections for generations. This coin's upward movement is not a guess, it is already happening, already accelerating, already pushing this treasure higher into the world of elite numismatics. For anyone fortunate enough to hold a coin like this, the path forward is sacred. Protect the toning. Protect the originality. Never clean it, never polish it, never disturb the natural green shade that time built for you. Store it in proper archival materials and keep it safe from extreme temperatures or humidity shifts. A coin like this does not just survive the future, it conquers it. And its value continues to rise as long as its natural beauty remains untouched. And as we close this final chapter of your top 5 Roosevelt dime treasures, remember this clearly. The 1976 with D green-toned dime is not simply a coin. It is a rising icon, a historical artifact, a rare masterpiece shaped by time and preserved by destiny. And as always, Hidden US Coins brings fresh, new, powerful updates every single day to keep treasure hunters, collectors, and enthusiasts ahead of every discovery and every opportunity.